Hi, this is Jan Larson, and this is Thimbles for You. Today I'm talking about chatelaines, and this is a solid sterling silver chatelaine that I make for myself here in my studio. This one is called Lily of the Valley because it has Lily of the Valley flowers on both sides. The Lily of the Valley grew at my grandmother's house in Montezuma, Iowa, and I remembered that for a long time. So this is a really beautiful vintage style chatelaine. I'm just going to go through each of the accessories that are hanging on the chatelaine and talk to you about how each one works. So the first accessory that I have here, we call this one the Sunshine. It's a Sunshine thread cutter. It can be removed from the chatelaine right there. But the main thing is that it has a blade around the back and then a silver disc covering the blade. So it is removable. It has a gemstone on the front, and it will cut threads where that blade shows through around the edges. You can feel that sharp edge. I can feel it with my fingernail. So you can carry this on an airplane really easily as a thread cutter instead of a pair of scissors, because nobody will ever know it's a thread cutter. The next piece on this one is the cage. It has a Lily of the Valley thimble in it. The closed top thimbles have to be used in a cage to carry them. This is a really small size, so I'm having to wear it on not my normal finger, but it has the same Lily of the Valley growth pattern around the bottom. The cage is made with a large lobster clasp at the top, which attaches the two sides, and it has a hinge at the bottom, so when I put it away, I set it on the hinge, close the top, lock the two sides together, and it's permanently in there. This cage can be removed from the chatelaine by undoing the 8mm spring ring at the top and just slipping it off. A lot of people really like to wear these just as a thimble with an heirloom thimble from their aunt or their grandma, and you can just put this right on a chain like that and wear it like a necklace. So it's a nice piece to be worn a lot of different ways. The open nail thimbles will also work in there, but the closed nail thimbles will not work on the baubles, so two different things. This is a really important piece. Most of us have rippers. This is a sterling silver ripper. The handle has a decorative center and a tube that goes all the way through. I have put a stainless steel cutting blade at the end, and so it's all built on there. These are challenging to make and hard to make them stay together really well. So this is a nice sturdy piece once it's done. They are expensive, but they're really nice. And you can see you could leave it open, hanging on your chatelaine if you want to. When you're finished, you just pull it off like you would a regular ripper and put it inside. The chain from the bottom up makes the lid stay on. The gravity will hold it together. The next piece on this one is the scissors. Scissors are always my favorite piece. They come out of the sheath. The sheath and chain is sold separately from the scissors, so if you have your own scissors that you want to use, you can use your scissors and fit them to one of my sheaths. There are a lot of different sizes and shapes of the sheath. This is a particularly ornate one because this is kind of a vintage style chatelaine. And this is also my scissors with the large loops at the top. There are some that have much smaller loops, and there's some little tiny ones that can fit into a kit, a little cloth kit that I make. There's another thimble in a cage. This one also has the Lily of the Valley growth parts around the back, but it has a beautiful gemstone in a wreath in the front. That gemstone is a Larimar, which is a really nice stone. But it's the same thing. It hinges at the bottom, locks at the top. You can see the patterns on each one is a little different. The beaded one is larger, and the braided one is smaller. So each thimble will have a slightly different cage shape with the wire because we want them all to fit nice and tight. This is how the thimble works on a bauble. The bauble is just 2 or 3 beads, gemstone beads or glass beads, and the open nail thimbles allow the chain for the bauble to just drop through. So when you're putting it away, turn your thimble upside down, drop the chain through the hole, and hang it back on your chatelaine. And again, just like with the cages, this can be hung directly onto a chain and worn as a necklace. The piece will come out easily if it's on a necklace. And that's another vintage style piece. It's actually a lady on a bicycle. And then she has a flower basket on the front of her bicycle, and there's a pig in her flower basket. And back on the other side, her little dog's running along, and her children are chasing her down the hill with their bicycle. So it's quite an interesting piece. Rather ornate and very detailed, like so many of my things. This is a needle case. The lid for the needle case is hand formed to fit on top. This particular one has a flower in the lid, and so it doesn't have a flat top, but rather a flower. Makes for a nice style. The needle cases come in a number of different sizes and shapes, so if you have a certain type of needle that you're interested in, just send me an email or a text message and I will see what I can do for the size that you're looking for. And the last piece here is a wax holder. It's a locket with a decorative front. It has beeswax inside, and that beeswax can wax a whole thread by just putting the thread there, putting your thumb on it, and just pulling it all the way through. One helpful hint with the beeswax lockets: if you leave it in a hot car, you'll have beeswax on everything, so be careful. A couple of other thimbles that work with this chatelaine, and any thimble can go on any chatelaine, but these are ones that are particularly nice for this one. This is a closed top chatelaine, closed top thimble, and it has blackberries on it. Another one of those traditional, my grandfather's garden had blackberries and raspberries in it, and my grandmother's porch had the lily of the valley, so I thought that was interesting. And then I've also made a really nice open nail thimble with a flower basket. And so there's the flower basket, and around to the back on this one, there's some fuchsia flowers hanging from the balcony, like we had in our house when I was growing up. The flowers are really beautiful and allow for a nice collector as well as a using thimble. So this one fits nicely around the knuckle on your middle finger, and so it's a nice strong piece with a quilt rim on top. This is Jan Larson, and I'm talking about chatelaines. This is the Lily of the Valley chatelaine with Thimbles for You.